Hello. Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the Court of the Edijester. How good people, how are we? It's the weekend. Thank goodness, thank goodness, thank goodness. It's great to be speaking to you once again here from the Court of the Edijester. Here, now. So today, I thought, let's go. We're going to go a bit deep today, a bit deep. We're going to talk about disasters. Everybody's got that one friend who is a clumsy twat, right? So clumsy fellows, right? I've got this mate of mine, and years ago, he was drinking a glass of wine, and he was sat on the couch next to my other mate, and I was sat on the other couch, and I'm just chatting away as normal. Oh, it's great. I had a good week. I've been very successful in business, blah blah blah, and all that sort of stuff. And he dropped his wine. Thankfully, there wasn't much in it, and it was white, not red. He dropped his wine, panicked, went to get up. Put his hand on the table, but instead only caught the end of the remote control, hit the end of the remote control at a rate of knots, which promptly flew up in the air and smacked the other guy on the head. I said, what the and he went to try and say, oh, God, I don't know, and then slapped the guy in the face with his other hand. Right? Now, this is... Do you know the kind of person I mean? Constantly bloody clumsy oaf. Clumsy oaf. So... I wouldn't pick him to do something that required delicate, careful care. Because he's what I call a galumpher, right? Okay, so he lollops around, great lumpen creature, right? But he's a lovely guy, but he is, right? So I've got something here from a magazine called Palladium, which is about governance futurism, and this was by Harold Robertson. And it's from June the 1st, 2023. So actually, we're going back in time a bit, but it seems a good time to take another look at this because it's fascinating. And the headline, as you can see there, is Complex Systems Won't Survive the Competence Crisis. And I thought this was worth us exploring on the back of what's happening in America and the eradication of DEI, EDI, which is the opposite of competence. It's got nothing to do with competence. It's about nitpicking and looking up your own bum, right? So, at a casual glance, the recent cascade of American disasters might seem unrelated. So this is going back a couple of years, even though there's been a few more since. In a span of a fewer than 6 months in 2017, 3 US naval warships experienced 3 separate collisions, resulting in 17 deaths. A year later, power lines owned by PG&E started a wildfire that killed 85 people. The pipeline carrying almost half of the East Coast gasoline shut down due to a ransomware attack. Almost 500,000 intermodal containers sat on a cargo ship unable to dock at Los Angeles ports. A train carrying thousands of tons of hazardous and flammable chemicals derailed near East Palestine, Ohio. Air traffic control cleared a FedEx plane to land on a runway occupied by a Southwest plane preparing to take off. Eye drops contaminated with antibiotic-resistant bacteria killed 4 and blinded 14. While disasters like these are often front-page news, the broader connection between the disasters barely elicits any mention. America must be understood as a system of interwoven systems. The healthcare system sends a bill to a patient using the postal system, and that patient uses the mobile phone system to pay the bill with a credit card issued by a banking system. All these systems must be assumed to work for anyone to make even simple decisions. But the failure of one system has cascading consequences for all the adjacent systems. As a consequence of escalating rates of failure, America's complex systems are slowly collapsing. Now, it's worth getting our heads around what this is saying here because it's very important. We are currently, strangely enough, I came across this and this is why it piqued my interest. We are currently looking at this on year 3 of the Warrior Teacher Program in regards to how does one create organizations that are resistant to wokeism and resistance to the kind of nonsense that causes this. So it's important that you get your head around the fact that whilst in America we are seeing a recognition that the death of meritocracy, merit, i.e. best man, best woman for the job, is something that has been ceased by old Trumpety Trump, right? So he's come on in and gone, yeah, we're having no more of this. And they're gradually going to get rid of it and bring back merit, which means we don't care who you are because you recruit the job. You don't recruit the person, right? That's the way it works. So it's very important to understand that we're in fact going in the opposite way, and that the civil service has been at this for years. I've had problems paying my taxes, and I've had problems doing my taxes. And you think, what the hell's going on? Everything's incompetent. You can't get through. They don't ring you. Everything, it just seems like everything feels incompetent. Even as much as going to get a coffee is a chore in some cases, or expecting a waiter to actually enjoy waiting on you rather than making it feel like you're doing them a favor. That's because young people can't distinguish between service and servitude, I think. So this is really important. This is America, but I'm saying to the UK that we're traveling in the opposite way to America. And in fact, we are going the way that is going to cause problems, because the last thing you would want is, as somebody said to me the other day, somebody who's not competent, for example, in the medical arena. Do you want, this article, this person said, which I thought was brilliant, do you want a competent dentist, or do you want a passionate dentist? Not least of all because the word passionate dentist is scary. And I think this is at the heart of this issue. Meritocracy is so important. So we'll continue. The core issue is that changing political mores established the systematic promotion of the unqualified and sidelining of the competent. This has continually weakened our society's ability to manage modern systems. At its inception, it represented a break from the trend of the 1920s to the 1960s, when the direct meritocratic evaluation of competence became the norm across vast swaths of American society. Notice there, they're talking about 1920s to 1960s. In the UK, we were still doing this right up until the 1980s. We're more recent in our sort of allowing DEI, EDI, and equity to interfere in our systems. We're now fully in it. And I don't think we've seen the full problems that are going to come from it yet, but I'm sure that we will do shortly. In the first decades of the 20th century, the idea that individuals should be systematically evaluated and selected based on their ability rather than wealth, class, or political connections led to significant changes in selection techniques at all levels of American society. Again, absolutely fascinating there. Notice that they said there that people were being selected based on wealth, class, or political connections. It strikes me that what we are now seeing is people being selected on wealth, class, or political connections within the UK system rather than using merit. And I think we're going to see a lot more of this. Trump's uncovering this with Doge, but we're going to see a lot more of it. Now, the simple fact of the matter is, that idea, well, they get, wealth, class, or political connections, is called patronage, and it's very dangerous, and we got rid of it a long time ago. The Scholastic Aptitude Test, which is SATs are something that young people take in America, or kids, I think, revolutionized college admission by allowing elite universities to find and recruit talented students from beyond the boarding schools of New England. Following the adoption of the SAT aptitude tests, such as Wonderlic, Graduate Record Examination, 1936, Army General Classification Tests, 1941, and Law School Admission Tests in 1948, swept the United States. Spurred on by the demands of 2 world wars, this system of institutional management electrified the Tennessee Valley, created the first atom bomb, and invented the transistor, and put a man on the moon. I want you to go and read the rest of this, because it's a long piece, but please do go and read the rest of it. I'll put the link as usual in the doobries. We need to get our head round how dangerous EDI and DEI is, and the sooner that we begin to eradicate it, the better. I think the only way that we can do that is one person at a time, but then I would, and in order to do that, you need to understand it. So please do let me know in the comments what you think. Is this an important thing to have this meritocracy, or is it in fact something that we can easily abandon? I don't think it's something we can easily abandon. But then I'll wait to hear from you, lovely people. Warrior Teacher Program starting in April. Details will be up shortly. Come and join us. Come and join us and stop this, because that's what we're stopping. All right? Go and have a great day. Ta-da! I'll see you later. Bye-bye.